Hey guys, Sundown here. This is going to be my chapter review to My Hero Academia or Boku no Hero Academia 261 High Ends. Plural. High Ends. Now this chapter was everything I needed it to be. It was so good. I thought it was a great chapter. I really liked it. And let's go straight into it. So the first scene I called Mirko barges in, very creative naming. So we start with our boy Johnny very clearly dying. His brains get splattered across the floor. R.I.P. to him. We see a snapshot of All for One. This is like a mini flashback kind of thing, praising Dr. Ujiko and his scientific exploits, saying how beneficial they've been to him. You've been a boon to me. You've been a benefit to me. In addition, so the cool thing is that Ujiko doesn't seem to have had, or he doesn't seem to have been working for All for One out of fear. He seems to have been genuinely on good terms with the guy. I mean, like, you have one crazy mofo, another crazy mofo. They just wanted to be crazy together. So I think that's a cool dynamic, and they didn't kill each other in the end, which is unique for a relationship like that. And this is where I knew this chapter was going to take a wild turn, was when Mirako, you see her kind of landing on the ground after having smashed through those solid steel looking doors, and she accidentally smashes the giant vials that the high ends are all contained in, with these steel doors and with debris and stuff like that. And I just thought, if she just accidentally awakened the high ends, she's gonna have her work cut out for her big time. Anyway, Mirko then reports back to Endeavor, and I think there was another. I think it's Rocklock or Lockrock. What's his name? Lockrock. I've forgotten which way around it is. But she reports that she may have found the real doctor, but Endeavor and the rest are dealing with a shitload of small fry normal back in the hospital reception area. They're just firing off little jets of flame, and basically they've been overrun with all these minions. So even though they're very low tier enemies, there's a lot of them. So Endeavor has his work cut out for him. So at the moment, Mirko is on her onesie. She has to survive. But they're thinking, yeah, it's just the doctor. We're all good. Like there's nobody else out there, right? We're told all the civilians have been evacuated. Is it just me that feels that something has to happen to some of the civilians or all of the civilians? Their evacuation seems to be something that has been made mention of at least once over the last few chapters, almost as if Horikoshi is like prodding us. He's poking us. Remember these civilians who are supposed to have been evacuated. Remember where these guys are. Remember that there was an attempt, and then remember what happens afterwards. So we'll see how that goes. The second kind of really short scene is Crust approaching. We see the number 6 ranked hero, Crust, making his way to Mirako's location. I'm really interested to see what he can do. Not only is he ranked number 6, I think he feels he has a lot to prove, as he wasn't in Camino. I think a lot of people agree with that. I feel he's got a chip on his shoulder and he's going to kick some ass. And he has a really cool quirk in the sense that, what is it? He can make his skin into a shield, or he can create shields out of. I think he can make he can deform and reform his skin into into shields. Essentially, I'm not sure what the qualities of the shields are, how what capacity they have in terms of how much impact can they absorb, but we're sure to find that out in the next couple of chapters. So then the next scene, High Ends. What happens next was anticipated last chapter, I think, by myself, probably by everyone who's reading, probably you guys too. Either Shigaraki would awaken, or the Nomus would be activated, or both. So we get one of those for sure. Now Mirako leaps towards the doctor, getting ready to give him at least a broken arm, and at the last second she's slightly nudged off course by another Johnny-looking Nomu known as Muka. The doctor makes mention of some key information here. When he activated the hooded high end for the first time, known as Hood, it took him 10 hours to stabilize. It took Hood 10 hours to stabilize after he had been activated. Now, what does this mean? Was it 10 hours to stabilize physically? Was it 10 hours to stabilize mentally? I think it might be the latter. So I think it might be 10 hours to stabilize mentally. So listening to orders and not just killing and destroying everything in sight, including Dr. Rijiko. But we see two of the Nomus later on with parts of their body kind of parts of their body. I think it was their hands decomposed or been blown off somehow, some way. So I'm starting to think that maybe the 10 hours was to stabilize physically as well, but I'm not sure. So a key detail here is, as with Mocha's distraction, the doctor activates the high end Nomu in the room with him, who instantly cannon towards Mirako and clatter her through some machinery. So Mocha takes away Miruko's attention. She's distracted, kicks out at Mocha. Doctor is like, yo, okay, thank you for the distraction. I'm press this button. Everyone wakes up and they all attack Miruko at the same damn time. And damn, do they look cool as fuck. The female high end with her tiara and like shoulder length hair behind it. And we're gonna call her Tiara high end. She looks dope as shit. I think she looks probably one of the best. We have the angular faced high end with like two jutting kind of pieces, projections. I'm not sure what you call him. Who reminds me of something, but I can't quite remember exactly what he reminds me of. He really looks familiar. I think it's. I was gonna say, is it from My Hero? Not realizing that this is My Hero, but he looks very, very familiar, and I can't remember what it is that he reminds me of. Is it a Gundam? Is it something else? I can't remember. And then we have the mouthy high end with mouths all over his body, and there are a few other high ends actually, but these were the three that attacked Miruko. So the female Tiara high end, we have angular faced high end, and we have mouthy high end. Now female and mouthy, or Tiara and mouthy high end, I think I'll just call it female high end actually, because the tiara is cool and I don't want to make a joke out of it. The female and mouthy high end seem to damage themselves when they smash Miruko, and this is what I was talking about. Their hands, or at least the female high end, her hand seems to have gone missing from the fingers up when they smash Miruko through the air. So I'm like, is it possible that their bodies can't handle the impact of their quirks yet? Or did Miruko damage them as she was hit? I doubt it. Did they damage themselves when they were smashing themselves out of their vials? I don't know, but this shows that the high end have, well, at least have super strength and regenerative quirks, a staple in the Nomu that we've seen so far. But all of these high ends seem to have retained a lot more of their base personalities than even Hood, saying words like, it's been so long. Tiara high end has zero chill, saying, kill them all. Yet she's so cool. I really liked the small amount of personality it added when she said, let's go nuts. I was like, oh, she's going to be some, like, her base personality is going to have been some madman or some mad lady who was just absolute apeshit. Probably some another underground fighter, or just some crazy from some sort of psycho ward or something like that. That the doctor was like, yeah, you know what? I can make a high end out of you. Why not? So yeah, I like the fact that just that translation when I saw, when you see her eyes sharpen and she's like, let's go nuts. I was like, ooh, and go nuts they shall. Crust enters the fray against these high ends, instantly looking for Miruko and whether she's okay. Qualities of a good hero, like where's my colleague? How is she? She doesn't seem to be in the immediate vicinity. And then he's looking up, and I think he actually does locate her. Well, actually, maybe he doesn't. I don't think he does actually. And Mouthy High End actually recognizes Crust. He doesn't recognize what rank he is, but he recognizes Crust himself, which makes you wonder if the base human for this high end, the Mouthy High End, had either interacted with Crust before, whether he was friends with him or something like that, or whether he just simply knew of Crust as a villain. Miruko then sees the doctor trying to escape, leaving his high ends in charge. She obviously thinks that she's going to catch him, but she'll need to go through the 4 high ends first, and we'll get to that. So what next? That was the end of the chapter. Points to mention. One high end has a long trunk looking thing that reminded me a bit of Chisaki's beak. Is this a coincidence, or are we looking at a high end that's been designed after Chisaki? Maybe there's a replication of his quirk going on there. I'm not sure, because the body of that high end is a lot larger, a lot chunkier than Chisaki ever was. It's just that trunk looking thing with the patterns on the side reminded me of Chisaki's beak. We then have a black sperm high end. I mean, like, if you read One Punch Man and you didn't think black sperm when you saw that high end, I don't have any faith in you, man. I mean, like, look at it. It's a high end that is a black sperm high end, which could mean all sorts of trouble at this point. If you have a black sperm high end, you're screwed, right? Then we have that angular face high end. I didn't notice this upon looking at him first. I did actually notice that there was one high end who had white legs. I was like, the fuck's going on there? And then I realized on this last page that the angular faced high end has these knee high supports bracing his legs for impact, I think. And are we to assume that he will be Miruko's main match, possibly outclassing her in kicking power, and then like really smashing her confidence, lowering her confidence, and then after this all finishes, really getting her to engage in and motivating herself to evolve her quirk, be better, be more powerful, train, maybe even take on one of the kids as her underclassmen, really train them up as a trainee. So then we have what will Miruko and Crust do as the number 5 and number 6 heroes respectively, I think. Well, they are a typical kind of spear and shield setup, but they're against 5 fresh high ends. Are these high ends ready for battle? I don't think they're as robust as they could be, but they'll still be a whole host of trouble. Like, these guys ain't a joke. They're freaking high ends, and they're crazy high ends. Now, if played well, Mirko and Crust might be able to, I think, take out 2 high ends, a couple high ends, at which point they may start to get tired. And when you get tired in a fight, you start getting hurt. And I'm hoping neither of them receive lasting injuries, but they'd need to wait for backup, which could take a while. And one of the 2 in that time could even die. I would put my money on Crust, seeing as, like, I think there are fewer people who, I don't think he's as popular as Mirko, essentially. But I don't think either of them will die, mostly because I want to see them perform at their best on another occasion. So selfishly, I'm hoping neither of them dies. But I do think one of them could die at this point. What are the 2 quirks the Doctor is running away with? That's another point. So now, I assume one is a baseline all for one quirk without all the other quirks. Someone made mention of this on Reddit. I've forgotten your name. Apologies. But yeah, I think one of them is a baseline all for one without all of the other quirks that all for one pulled out or stole from people. But what's the other quirk? Is it a regen quirk? Is it a telepathy quirk? I think it could even be a warping quirk, because that's something that's quite important and pivotal to this whole to the hidden nature and the guise of the League of Villains initially. And even now, the Doctor is very, very adamant and keen upon using warping as a means to escape and get out. And then the final point for me really was, will Shigaraki awaken? If he does, will he have enough power to drive the heroes back? We have to remember, if he's capable of driving those heroes back, of doing that with the entire hero force out there, then they've pretty much already won. This can't just be a one-sided stomp. So if Shigaraki does come out and he's awesome and he's sick and he's bitch-slapping people, I would be kind of like, yeah, but they've already won then. All they'd need to do is wait a bit for Shigaraki to stabilize, come back and just decimate everyone, right? That's all they'd need to do. So I'm hoping it's not just like Shigaraki wakes up and he's like, I'm about to kill y'all, and he just goes out and kills whoever he wants. I do think there will be some hero deaths here. I just don't want it to be Shirako. I don't want it to be Crust or Mirko. So that's the end of my review. That's the end of this chapter. Let me know what you guys thought. Like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff, and I will see you guys in a bit.